Okay, let's get started. So, as a reminder, we are celebrating Alma Woodsy Thomas for Black History Month this week, and we are going to use her style, her artwork, as inspiration for what we're going to make. So, as a reminder, her style was abstract, meaning it wasn't about a specific picture, it was just fun designs and colors, really bright colors. She also had some patterns in her artwork, irregular patterns, which means it kind of went in different directions, so you can do whatever you'd like. And then the last thing we're really going to focus on is that her artwork was like a mosaic. A mosaic is made out of tiny pieces, and we are going to use pieces of paper. So you have some choices today. I have my paints out. If you have paints, you can use these. If not, you can do the same thing with colored pencils, markers, crayons, pens, anything you have at home. If you don't have anything to write with, you can also do this project by ripping up. We're going to use pieces, so you can rip up pieces of paper. So that is another choice. You also, if you wanted to, could use scissors to cut pieces, but you have to make sure you get permission from an adult. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to fill your page with color to get ready to make our mosaic. So I'm going to get a blank piece of paper and we're going to fill it up kind of like this one. So I'm going to show you all the different ways you can do that. If you choose to use the paints, I'm going to show you now. You're going to need a little bit of water in a dish, maybe a throwaway dish. You'll need a paintbrush, your paints, and if you want to, a little towel to wipe your paintbrush off on when you want to clean it. All right, so we are not going to paint a picture. We're just going to use the colors and make a cool design. So you can see in my first picture, I just added different colors. I practiced mixing colors together. I even took some crayons at the end and colored over it. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is wake up my paints. So say, wake, wake, wake up. Wake, wake, wake up. So I'm not jamming my paintbrush into the paints. I'm just tapping the paint saying, please wake up. Please wake up, please wake up. And I can tell that there's some green on my paintbrush. So my green is awake. I'm going to gently, I'm not jamming my paintbrush. I'm going to, almost like you're petting an animal, maybe a dog or a cat. You don't want to rub their hair like this. That would make them angry. But you just want to gently go in the direction of the bristles. These are called bristles. So I'm going to use all the paint on my paintbrush until it's all gone. I'm going to show you what to do when your paint starts to run out. All right. Ooh, beautiful green. So when your paintbrush starts to run out of paint or gets these white spots, you can always do one tap in the water, tap, and it fills it back up with paint. When you're ready to switch to the next color, you want to just gently tap on the bottom of your cup. If you go like this, you might knock your water over and it's not nice on the bristles, so you just want to gently tap. And then you can drag, and let's wake up another color. Let's try mixing colors. So I'm gonna try and, let's wake up our blue. Say, wake, wake, wake up, wake, wake, wake up. And let's try adding some blue into our green. Ooh, it looks kind of cool where the water was still a little bit wet. I'm tapping the water, wake up my blue a little more, maybe get a little more paint. Can try adding some fun designs. Remember, we're going to rip this paper up, so you don't want to get too attached to your drawing because it's going to be ripped up to make a mosaic. We're going to use these pieces, which means we have to fill the paper with color. All right, I'm going to rinse my brush. And you can see I used my paint because my water is still very clear. All right, I'm going to use some brown. I have a good idea for my mosaic. So I'm going to, ooh, beautiful. Try and fill up my paper. I don't need to go all the way to the end because remember, we're going to be ripping our pieces, so it's okay if we don't color all the way and we don't want to color on our table. Oops, I didn't use all my brown. Say, wake, wake, wake up. Wake, wake, wake up. I'm going to add some black to my brown. Maybe add some cool designs. Rinse before I go to the next color. if you use one color and you go to the next color, it would really mess up your paint. So you want to make sure you rinse your paints every single time. Oops, rinse my paint. I almost forgot. Wake up. All right. Now, if you don't have paints, that's okay. It's been kind of cool to watch, I'm sure. And then I'm going to show you something you can do if you don't have paints, because there's lots and lots of options. Add some orange. Maybe I'll let some orange go into the blue. Might make some cool colors. Ooh, that's a cool pattern. All right, add a tiny bit of red in here. And I'm actually gonna go over this with brown one more time. You'll see why. I have an idea for my mosaic. I think it's gonna be really fun and beautiful. All right, so let me just add a few more bright colors. Maybe I'll wake up my yellow. Wake up. I know Alma Woodsy Thomas had really bright colors, so I'm gonna add some really bright yellow. Maybe add some bright orange too. Get some of those bright colors. Oops, I don't wanna mix, so I'm gonna just keep going. Okay, and now if you don't have paints, I'm gonna show you another way you can make some really bright colors. So if you have colored pencils, you can go ahead and do some shading, which just means you're gonna go back and forth with the colored pencil. And then you'll have some red here. You can even let some of your colored pencils go into your paint once they dry. They're still too wet to take any color in. You can even put colors on top of colors. Try and make some interesting designs. Let's put some yellow on our red. Ooh, that looks cool. Let's see. I'm gonna use some markers. So whatever you have is okay. You should have a piece of paper and you're adding color, whatever that looks like. It can be swirlies, it can be different designs. The goal is to just fill up your paper with color as much as you can. Let's see, more. Oops, I don't want to ruin my yellow, so I don't want to put too much on top of other colors. The yellow's a little sensitive. All right, and finally, if you have some crayons, you can use some crayons to create some design. So if you want to use the pointy side to make some designs, that works. If you just want to use the bottom and fill in a nice space to get some color, that's fine too. Totally up to you. You can even let some of your crayon color go into other colors. You might want to wait till it dries a little bit. Let's try it up here where it's dry. Ooh, that looks cool. Can add some colors on top of other colors. All right, so once you fill up your paper, then we're going to let it dry. And once it's dry, we're gonna start making our mosaic, which means we're gonna rip tiny pieces. Remember, you can rip tiny pieces from colored construction paper too, if you don't have something to make a colored piece of paper. And then we're going to glue them onto our mosaic. Okay, now that my picture is dry, I'm ready to make my mosaic. So I can go ahead and close up my paints and maybe push them out of the way so I don't spill anything. Remember, we are going to make a mosaic because it's very similar to Alma Woodsy Thomas's artwork, who we're celebrating for Black History Month. So something else you're going to need to make your mosaic is some glue. A glue stick works just fine. If you don't have a glue stick, you can use squeeze glue, that's fine. I'm gonna put it right here in between my colors. You can keep your colors out because in case you wanna add some color to your drawing. You're also gonna need some sort of piece of paper. I chose a paper about half the size, so it's not too big. It doesn't take me too long. Just so that when you rip your pieces, I'll show you what I mean. When you rip your pieces for your mosaic, you have something to glue them on. And in order to make our mosaic, you don't have to make a picture. You can just glue your design or whatever because it's abstract and irregular patterns. But because Miss Armstrong wants to celebrate Black History Month, I'm going to make a black and brown heart in the middle, and then I'm going to do designs around the back. And I'm going to use my pieces, this piece of paper that I made, or remember, you can also use your construction paper. There's tons of, if you have construction paper, you can do that. So I'm ready to get started. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say too is I am going to be ripping pieces to make my mosaic. That means I'm just going to hold the paper and twist. You can rip off a piece and then rip it into tinier pieces, and I can use pieces like that. You can also, if you have scissors, you want to ask an adult for permission, you can use scissors to cut pieces from your mosaic. Remember, when you're cutting pieces, you want to make sure that your hand that's holding the paper is far away from the pieces that you're cutting. So we open the scissors and chop. We practiced this last week a little bit, and then you can have, your pieces will look a little bit different if you cut them. They'll have smooth edges, and if you rip them, they'll have rough edges. So let's get started on our mosaic. And that's why we made our drawing so wild, because we're going to rip the pieces anyway, so it didn't matter what our drawing looked like. I also used a marker to add different designs around my paper as it was drying, in case you want to do that. So I'm actually going to start by using some of my brown construction paper. I'm just going to hold it and twist and rip off a piece. And then that way I can rip pieces in whatever size I want. I can just rip them tiny, medium, maybe some pieces a little bit bigger, and I can use also some of these pieces that I have from my drawing. So I'm actually going to keep ripping, and I'm going to plan my mosaic. All right, so my mosaic, I'm actually going to do a picture. So it's going to be a heart using black and brown pieces. My drawing is going to be, or not my drawing, my mosaic is going to be celebrating Black History Month. You can do whatever kind of mosaic you want. We saw a picture in the PowerPoint of a lizard mosaic. There was a PowerPoint of, what else did we see? Oh, I think there was a starfish. So I'm gonna rip some of these pieces. Okay, and I'm gonna just kind of design it. So a mosaic, remember, is like little pieces of paper that make a picture. So I'm gonna keep ripping. I want some of these in the middle, so I have to rip that out. They have some hearts on there. All right, add some. And what you want to do is once you start making your picture, you might want to start gluing down some pieces so they don't move all around. So Miss Armstrong should probably start gluing. So when you glue your pieces, you want to open the cap. You want to make sure, ooh, my glue is perfect. There's just a tiny bit of glue showing. If your glue stick is all the way up here, you want to use the orange dial at the bottom to roll it down. Because if you leave it up and you use your glue, all your glue will smush out of the side. So I'm going to use it really low. Everybody say glue on the piece, not on the paper. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of my piece to add to my mosaic, and then I am going to stick it on the paper. If you put a bunch of glue on your paper is going to change color and it might not look so nice. So again, I'm going to add some glue to my piece, and I am going to stick it on the paper. Now, did you notice that Miss Armstrong, when she glued her pieces, she did not put them on top of each other? One trick to making a mosaic is you want your pieces to be really close, but you don't want them to touch each other. Just like that. If they're touching each other, then it kind of looks more like a collage, which we'll do later this year. But in order to make a mosaic, everybody say really close, but not touching, but not touching. So I'm gonna glue a couple more pieces. And then I'm gonna go into super speed because you don't need to see me glue all these one by one. All right, I like these dots. And again, I'm just making a heart using my black and brown pieces. And then I'm going to, oops, I didn't glue that one down. Then I'm going to fill the background with just some random, maybe a sunset design. Okay, so my pieces are really close, but they're not touching. It doesn't look like a heart yet. I'm hoping it looks like a heart soon. You do not have to copy my design. You can make any design you want. So if you don't like the idea that Miss Armstrong has, that is okay. You can make your own idea. So I'm gonna go into super speed and I'm gonna show you. So this is what a mosaic, the start of it looks like. My pieces are all glued down and they're really close, but they're not touching each other. That is what our mosaic is gonna look like. And remember, we're making a mosaic to celebrate Alma Woodsy Thomas because her paintings look just like mosaics. So that is what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna go into super speed and show you how to finish my mosaic. Okay, so I finished my design in the center. Using my black and brown pieces, I made my heart to show love. And one thing I forgot to say earlier is when you're ripping your pieces, you want to make sure that they're about the size of your thumb. So when you rip it, you want to look and check, is it the size of my thumb? This one's too big, so I'm going to rip it again. And now it's about the right size and I can glue it on. So now that I've finished my center design, I'm gonna go ahead and just add some designs in the background. I'm gonna really think about those beautiful, beautiful colors that Alma Woodsy Thomas used and try and get something done that I'm inspired by her. So here we go. I'm gonna go into super speed. Okay, so I finished my mosaic and I love it. So I hope you guys have a fun time making your mosaic. Remember, it might not come out perfectly, but as long as you practice ripping and using your glue to glue pieces to the paper that are about the size of your thumb, you have made a mosaic. So here's my mosaic for Black History Month. I was inspired, and you also are inspired by Alma Woodsy Thomas. She had abstract paintings with irregular patterns and bright colors, and they looked like mosaics. So we made a mosaic to celebrate her and Black History Month. I hope you had a great time creating your mosaic, and I will see you next time.